Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Thanks for joining us. We are into 2024, and we're live every Saturday morning here at News Talk 830 WCCO for the Minnesota Real Estate Show, hosted by, of course, Mr. Mike Overson, Luminate Home Loans, Scott Wolmering, myself, Ryan O'Neill, with the Minnesota Real Estate Team, Remax Advantage Plus. In studio today, we've got Adam Hartung, Midwest Money Management. We got a full crowd here today, guys, and we're getting ready to go live on air. You guys ready?
I'm ready. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Yeah, we're on News Talk 830 WCCO. Hope your weekend's going well. And again, you can join us anytime, 612-294-6949 by phone or text. Again, 612-294-6949. Questions, comments, thoughts? Mike, a lot to talk about today.
Yeah, we're going to talk about some news, some media headlines that we saw this week. That's just, it kind of makes me laugh.
Yeah, again, and good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. We appreciate you joining us here every Saturday morning on News Talk 830 WCCO. Excited to be here. We are into, if you can believe it, 2024. And a lot to talk about. This is a local real estate show. It's hosted by Mike Overson of Luminate Home Loans, Scott Wolmering, myself, Ryan O'Neill of the Minnesota Real Estate Team and Remax Advantage Plus. Appreciate you joining us here, CCO listeners. At any time, you can reach out with questions, comments, thoughts, 612-294-6949. Again, 612-294-6949. That comes right to us in studio. Mike and Scott, hey, good morning to you guys, and thanks for being here as always.
Yeah, good morning, Ryan.
Yeah, good to be here, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Like Ryan said, this is the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Happy New Year, happy holidays. This is the first show of the new year, 2024. So we are going to talk about what that's going to look like. What is 2024 going to look like? We're going to put on our kind of futuristic hats. Fun question of the week. We like to do it every week. So the fun question this week is, if you could have any personality trait or change any personality trait that you have, what trait would you like? And I'll give you an example, so it's not complicated. I've always complimented Ryan. For example, he does things that you don't want to do immediately. So if he has bad news for somebody, or he got information he has to give to someone that particularly is not great, he does that thing as his first thing. That's a very good personality trait, instead of putting it on the shelf and doing it later. So what is a personality trait you wish you had, or one that you wish you could get rid of?
Yeah, good stuff. Thank you, Scott. Thank you. Thanks for everybody for joining us here. We've got a little snow falling in the Twin Cities. We're into 2024. And again, we always welcome your questions, comments, thoughts, 612-294-6949. A lot to talk about in the first segment with a real estate update, guys. Mike, mortgage-wise, what's cooking? I know rates have been dropping for a long time. Have they kept dropping, or what's going on?
Well, if you look at some of the headlines from this week, it's funny because when you open up like Google Chrome on your phone, and it's got like different new feeds, right? So you kind of flip through and you kind of see the headlines going. So last night I'm doing it. One headline says mortgage rates increased for the first time since October. And then another one says mortgage rates hit an all-time low since October.
Yeah.
It's like, I kind of just rolled my eyes and laughing like, these guys don't even know what's going on here. But this is the first week where rates actually went up a little bit from Monday through Friday compared to the previous 8 weeks that we saw. Now, how much did they go up? 0.1%, right? Just a little bit of wave, no big deal. They're still trending downwards. They actually been pretty flat over the last 3 weeks, but we still think they're going to trend downwards as we move forward here to the spring market. We're sitting around, 6.5 to 6.625 on a 30-year fixed. March comes around, I think we're in the low sixes. June comes around, we could probably be in the high fives.
Wow, interesting. And again, what we're seeing, Scott, what are you hearing out there? Talking to agents with those lower rates, talking to sellers, buyers. How is that impacting your business?
Well, I think there's a hesitancy that's out there right now. Well, there's a hesitancy, and there's also kind of a rush to it. There's a lot of people that missed out, obviously, when rates were at 2.9%. And the reason we know that is because when I list a home, the saved searches, meaning agents that have saved criteria for that particular buyer, those numbers haven't changed. So the first 4 months of 2022, I put a 2-story on in Lakeville between 350 and 600 grand, and I was going to have between 500 to 600 people that have that search, which is extremely aggressive.
A lot of
I
people.
mean, yeah, back in the day, I mean, I'd be happy with 125, 150, 300 was amazing. Now we're tripling that. And so with that happening, I think that we're going to see, I don't know. I mean, you know where I'm going with it. I kind of lost my train of thought there, but you know where I was going with that.
Yeah. And again, first segment here, Mike and Scott, we always do like to do a real estate update, just to give you a snapshot of what's happening here in Minnesota in the Twin Cities. New listings this past week actually grew quite a bit, but this is right about Christmas time when these numbers reported. So they're a little bit skewed just because the activity is generally lighter. But new listings were up 37%. There were 453 new properties that went on the market. Pending sales increased 20%. Interesting, 571 pendings. That's, again, accepted PAs. And then lastly, the inventory still has gone down year over year, down 4.3%, 7,167. With those pending sales increasing, Mike, are you seeing that with your business from a mortgage standpoint? Have you felt it in talking to your agents, buyers?
Yeah, I mean, December was one of my lowest closing months ever, but you got to remember December closings are applications that happen in October. Well, in October, we had rates between 7.5% and 8%. So how many applications you getting in, right? You're not many. So that's why December was a low closing month. But now if you look at the last 2 weeks of December, I mean, we've seen our application numbers triple from the beginning of December, the first 2 weeks of December. So if I was taking 5 applications a week in December for the first 2 weeks, I was taking 15 a week for the last 2 weeks of December. So, and I see it coming. Our application numbers are way up. Closings, January is going to be more than December, which almost never happens, right? January and February are usually the slowest months. I already have more scheduled to close in January and February than I did in December. So I see it coming. We see the spring that we're going to come in here that's going to be very, very competitive.
Yeah, I mean, the answer I lost my train of thought, but to follow up on your question, that's exactly what I was saying, is there's two sides of it. There's people that were hesitant that are now a little bit kind of freaking out a little bit. They see this coming. Rates were at 8.5. Oh my gosh, now they're at 6.5. We missed the opportunity. We couldn't afford it at 8.5. Scott and Ryan and Mike have been talking for months and months that if we don't get in at this particular time, that when the spring market hits, that all of a sudden values are going to go up. And so I think there's that kind of hesitancy and just on edge that people have. Am I going to be able to get in this time, make it affordable before prices go up? I think that's out there.
Don't be on edge, Scott.
I'm not on it.
Don't be on edge. Hey, we hope your weekend is starting off well. This is the Minnesota Real Estate Show. We are here for your questions, comments, and thoughts. 612-294-6949 is how you can join us here at any point. We did have a text message question come in saying, I'm an FHA buyer, Mike. Do you think I can get a PA accepted here in the next 30 days?
I think the next 30 to 60 days is your best chance to get it accepted. So absolutely as well. I mean, I look at my closing mix for January and February. I have more FHAs and VAs going than conventionals right now as far as closings come up, which is crazy, right? I could count basically all year next year. I think I had 3 going, and I have, I think, 4 in January alone. So, yep, absolutely do it now.
Yeah, again, we're up against the first break here at the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Always welcome to join us. Hope your weekend is going well. This is News Talk 830 WCCO. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Marcos saw the share button. You can share it from our any of the public pages, the Minnesota Real Estate Team or the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Good morning, Kareem. Good morning, Bill. Lots of other folks joining us. Hey, we got Adam Hartung here.
Yeah.
And this guy just celebrated 25 years, 25th wedding anniversary. Tell people about your party, bud.
Yeah. So my wife and I got married on January 1st, 1999. And so for 15 years now, my wife has been planning this party that we would. That's not a joke. She's
Really?
Oh yeah, it's been 15 years. For our 10th wedding anniversary, we actually flew to Vegas and had our vows renewed by Elvis, which is an awesome
No,
story.
that's cool.
I don't know if you guys remember.
I remember that.
I flew in from the airport and came directly to the radio station for
Your
a radio
vows
show.
renewed by Elvis.
That was so much fun. And
Oh my
ever
gosh.
since then, she's been planning this party. So we had a New Year's Eve party, and then and Ryan was there, and at midnight we renewed our vows. So that was it was fun. It was a great night.
And
Thanks
your
to everybody that
three
was there.
sons were there.
3 sons, yeah, everybody, all of us in tuxedos. It was a formal event. My wife wanted to have a big ball.
Yeah, my middle daughter Maggie, who's now working with Adam,
Yes.
was there, and she called afterwards. She's like, Scott, we were at that 25th anniversary for Adam and Sarah. She's like, that's 3 of your weddings. I said, well, it's like 2.5. 25 years, like 2.5 of my
It's,
wedding.
It was super fun though,
It
and a
was
lot
fun.
of good people. You had neighborhood friends, clients, people you've known really throughout your
People
life.
from school, yeah.
Just a credit to you guys. And Sarah did a great job putting it together. You could tell
She's-
every detail was just perfect.
She's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd like to see Mike on the dance floor too. I know Mike can rip it up.
Cut a rug. Oh yeah. Yep. Get it from my dad.
Yeah, you get your rhythm. I get my rhythm from my dad too. It's a sad state of affairs.
Hey, thanks. I got a lot of folks joining us. Thanks for joining us this morning again. If you have questions, comments, thoughts about the market at all, it is encouraging, Mike, though, Scott, Adam, to hear some good numbers for change. I mean, the whole last year was pretty dismal. Every show, just not a lot of real happy news with sales numbers, guys.
No, and it is true. So for everybody listening, I'm going to say it now. I've done this for years and years. If you have a daughter or a son that is going to be buying their first house, and you and your parenting wisdom, which I've done it when I was not in real estate, is going to tell them, oh, no, wait till the spring to buy a house because that's when all the good ones go on and best time to buy a house is spring market. It is not. If they are a first-time home buyer, like Mike was just saying, the next 2 months, guys, is the best opportunity for them to buy it, get the loan that they want, be able to get a home inspection, and not compete against 20 or 30 other people because it is coming.
Yeah, it is coming. Mike, it's coming down your road. How about numbers for, have you heard of many mortgage people that got out of the industry, Mike?
Like how many?
Yeah, I mean,
Percentage-wise?
after last year.
Ooh, I don't know. I guess I haven't heard a number for a while. I would guess probably about 20% of the loan officers out there probably have left the industry at this point. Will they get back in? I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll have to see. What about real estate agents?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a pretty significant number as well. People deciding to leave, ice their license. They haven't released the newest numbers yet, but it's a lot of people. A lot of people for obviously a variety of reasons. A tough market.
Yeah.
So people on the money management business, though, probably people leaving that as well. There's not as much money, you know.
Yeah, no. Actually, last year was a great year for the stock market,
Yeah.
which was not what was predicted. So
Yeah, we'll talk about that too with again Adam Hartung and Midwest Money Management. Here we go. We're getting ready to go live again on News Talk 830 WCCO. Hope your weekend's going well. Hey, welcome back, everybody, to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Hope your weekend is going well. We like to feature every week on the show some of our listings. And Scott, this one is a really unique one. Jan Rolfe with the Minnesota Real Estate team has this listed, Scott. It's priced at $120,000 and it's 10035 Pokegama Lake Road. And Jan has got some interesting bullet points. She said this property's had a dramatic change since it's listed recently. This well-known building is approximately 12,700 square feet. It's known in the past as a sanatorium. Years ago, it was listed as having an association attached to it. Multiple offers came in and then were dropped because of the association rules. A new update recently has taken place. They've discovered that the association expired permanently. HGTV, this is kind of cool, asked to highlight this property recently because of its uniqueness, and they've asked if the buyers would like to follow or if they could follow the buyers and film the recreation of the buyers' new ideas for this grand structure. It is a solid structure, blank slate. It's a total rehab, and it's again 120,000. It's in Pine City, Scott, minutes off I-35. It's just under an acre. It's got a beautiful lake view, mature trees, city sewer, shared well. The Snake River is across the street. And again, you can call Gordy in zoning to hear about the multitude of zoning abilities. It's a rare and unique find, zoned multifamily. So it was super interesting. Jan, she had this featured on HGTV, a sanatorium. It's a super cool property. You got to Google it, pull it up, 10035 Pokegama Lake Road for 120K.
So it's got multiple use. So is it currently a cabin?
It's currently vacant. So think of a building with a number of, it was a sanatorium.
You keep saying that. I don't know what the sanatorium
Mike,
is.
can you explain what a sanatorium is?
It's basically haunted at this point.
It
right?
is, yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's what they're
Like
saying.
the crazy people, right? That's
Got
where the
it.
sanatorium.
Sanatorium. Got
Yep.
it.
Yes, a
Like a-
sanatorium. So it's just a unique property. Very interesting pictures. HGTV, checking it out. So anyway, it's kind of a cool one, but again, $120,000. Mike, what do you think about that?
Well, so it just brings up a very random question. So if it's believed to be haunted, is that something that has to be disclosed, or how does that work on the real estate side of things?
What do you think, Scott?
Ryan, I'll let you take it. I know the answer.
No, please, Scott.
No,
I want it.
No, you always do this to me. He looks at me with that cat smirk.
Yeah.
Would you like to answer that? How about you answer this?
So from a haunted standpoint, that disclosure, hard to prove if something is haunted. I mean, again, depending upon your belief systems and whatnot, a seller, if they fill out the full seller's disclosure, they need to disclose everything that they're aware of regarding the property.
So bottom line is, if you are a seller and
Yeah.
you believe it's haunted,
Yeah.
it's like anything else. That's what you believe, and if you believe it, it's true to you. You've got to disclose it.
Well, and it's a good example. Let's say you bought a house and there was water in the basement, and then you say, "Hey, Scott, Mike, and Adam, the seller didn't disclose this, particular thing they found, water in the basement or
Yeah,
whatever."
you can't say that. Well, they don't believe it.
No, but the interesting thing, my point is, they have to know about it. So in other words, just because you become aware of something doesn't mean that every prior seller, maybe water isn't a good example, maybe it's something not quite as obvious to a homeowner, but you have to show the seller had knowledge. That's an important thing, guys. It's not just, "Hey, I had water in my basement, I'm going to sue the seller." Well, what did they experience? What did they know about it? So
Well, and there are court precedents of this. People moving in, and I shouldn't even have brought it up because I don't remember how they came out. I just remember,
yeah, don't bring it
I
up.
just remember that there were court instances where somebody moved in,
Yeah,
the house was haunted.
it was haunted.
The seller was like, "Oh yeah, Jimmy's been there for 100 years." The ex neighbors, "Well, you didn't disclose Jimmy." Well, that's a problem.
Jimmy.
Hey, it's 612-294-6949 is how you can reach us at the Minnesota Real Estate Show. We do want to invite on our friend Adam Hartung to the discussion here as we continue on. The disclosure for Adam Hartung is a certified financial planner professional, accredited investment fiduciary. He's the president and founder of Midwest Money Management, located at 17316 Kenyon Avenue in Lakeville, Minnesota. Securities offered through JW Cole Financial Inc., member FINRA and SIPC. Advisory services offered through JW Cole Advisors Inc., Midwest Money Management, and JW Cole Financial. And JW Cole Advisors are unaffiliated entities. Good morning to you, Adam, and happy 25th anniversary,
Hey,
my friend.
Yeah, and thanks for coming to our party, Ryan. It was really fun to have you there.
We were just sharing during the social media stream off air about your fun party, 25 years. Hey, you're celebrating a lot there, young man. Tell everybody everything that's going on in
Well,
your
yeah,
life.
2024 is really a big year for kind of anniversaries, I guess. January was our 25th wedding anniversary. I turned 50 in July. And then September is also the 25th anniversary of when I started Midwest Money Management. And it's the 10th anniversary of when my business partner, Corey Schmiedeberg, and I merged our businesses. So it really is kind of a big, anniversary year.
I got to give a nice shout out. So Adam and his dear wife, Sarah, put on just a wonderful party down in Northfield at this theater. It's kind of this renovated historic theater.
It's an old sanatorium.
And Adam, of course, knowing Adam and Sarah, a ton of people there, friends, neighbors, all kinds of folks, lots of dancing, music, food. Sarah did just an awesome job putting the party on. Just a wonderful credit to you guys. So many lifelong friends, and it was just a beautiful, beautiful evening.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. And as is typical when Ryan is at an event, he was the life of the party.
No,
So you were the life of our wedding too, Ryan. I think we were the last person that Ryan played piano at our wedding 25 years ago, and he's so amazing. I mean, he literally did all these impromptu, like ad lib, like quick little piano singing things that weren't even planned during the middle of the wedding, but it was awesome.
Scott, you should be more like
yes.
Ryan. We've all heard
There's
that.
your personality
Yeah, you
traits.
should be more like Ryan. Yeah.
There's the answer.
Yeah, there exactly.
Scott, that should be your
Personality.
answer.
Personality trait. Be like more. Like Ryan.
Be more like Ryan.
Hey, Adam, though, before the break, give a little snapshot. Again, the real estate market, down year in closed transactions, interest rates going much higher, down year for mortgage. Stock market was crazy good, wasn't it? Way up.
Stock market had a really strong year. No matter how you look at it, I will say, so the S&P 500 index, which is the index that most people watch the closest, and it is the 500 largest stocks in the United States, was up a little over 26% in 2023. So by any measure, a great year. I will say it is interesting though that the top 7 stocks in the S&P 500 made up 75% of the gains.
Wow.
And they have the largest concentration. The top 7, the largest 7 companies now make up approximately 26% of the S&P 500.
What are those companies?
So it's Google, it's Amazon,
Facebook?
it's
Not to put you on the
Microsoft.
spot, but just
No,
thinking
I've
about it.
actually got the
name
list
them all
here.
off.
It's Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Nvidia, Alphabet, which is Google, Meta, and Tesla.
Wow.
Yeah. So those 7 stocks made up 75% of the gains, and so the S&P 500, people don't understand, it's what's called a cap weighted index, which means that the returns, when you look at them, they don't just take the 500 stocks and take the total returns and divide it by 500 and say this is what the index is up. The larger the percentage of the index you make up, the more your particular returns have more weight in the return of the index. So there is such a thing as what's called the equal weight S&P 500, and it is exactly the first way, where they just take all the returns from all 500 stocks, divided by 5 or by 500, and that was up about 13.7% in 2023. So again, still a very solid year by any measure, but far less than the 26%, and that's because of the disproportionate weight of those top 7 stocks.
What if you moved Midwest Money Management's office to this sanatorium up in Pine City?
I think that could be fun. We could
Well,
then
you
we
wouldn't have to
we
hire
could
any,
ask.
Well, you wouldn't have to hire any more employees. You could just rally all the people that used to be there.
And we could ask the ghosts.
Yes,
for
that's right, that's what I
forecasts.
mean.
They
could
probably
help-
know
yes,
what's
They could-
coming
they
in
could help- they could
2024.
help
Hey.
you out. Before we hit the break, Adam, personality trait that you wish you had, could change about yourself.
Yeah.
What is it?
This is something I've been aware of for a number of years, and a good friend, client of ours, Fred Abrahamson, is the person that made me think about this, and that is that I try to get better about accepting genuinely offered help from people. People, I mean, there are so many people that really want to help with things, and all of us, I think, have this tendency to just push that away and say, no, I got it, I can do it, and life is better when you let people help you, and so I try to accept genuinely offered help from people.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah, super good. If you got something too you want to share with us, 612-294-6949. We're live in studio here at CCL. We're right in downtown Minneapolis. We come in every Saturday morning talking all things real estate, mortgage. Again, Adam Hartung with all things money related. This is the Minnesota Real Estate Show on WCCO. Yeah, that's good stuff. Adam, that's interesting, those big companies. So a lot of tech. It's all technology.
Tech drove almost everything in 2023. That really is. And so what's interesting is we'll see, obviously the year just started, but that trend completely reversed as of the first of the year. So the market is down 1.5% for the week, and it was down pretty big the first couple of days. But it is those same big tech names that had big years last year that are now pulling the market down.
So one thing I was just going to comment on, having friends who work with different tech companies, maybe not necessarily the 7 biggest ones, but I've heard too, for a lot of you that are listening or watching, it's been a horrible time from a job standpoint in the tech market. Technology jobs down significantly last year. Have a good friend of mine who, was one of many casualties, just immediately got a Zoom call, said, "Hey, we're cutting." I don't know the exact numbers, Adam. Maybe you guys have heard that too, but it's not good in the tech industry.
Yeah, I don't know the numbers either, and it particularly concerns me right now because both of my 2 oldest sons are going to school for computer science right now, and again, it's not like computers are going to go away or that market is going to disappear, but I do worry about especially on the job side if that's gotten very saturated at this point.
If you're if you're really good at tech stuff, aren't you kind of almost like creating your own demise at the end? Like if you're so good at your job, you're going to create something that can do your job for you. Now they don't need you anymore.
Yeah,
Right?
It's funny because we're gonna talk, and I was waiting until we can talk about this on air again as well. But I'm going to talk about our forecast event that's going to come up, and trying to think about what is my forecast for 2024,
Right.
And it's like, well, do you want me to give the optimistic version or do you want me to give the pessimistic version? Because I can make strong arguments for both.
Well,
Yeah.
when we go back on air, one of the questions I had, you guys watch all the sports shows and whatever.
Yeah.
So every week they always do on fantasy football update, they do wild predictions. So wild predictions for 2004. So
Yeah.
like one of them said Tyreek Hill is going to run for 2,300 yards and beat Calvin Johnson from Detroit. So I thought it would be fun for us to think about that, and let's give a wild prediction, something that probably won't come true,
Oh, wow.
but you could see coming true in the real estate market or the investment market in 2020, in 2024.
We're going to write it down today.
Yeah.
And at the end of the year,
We'll save this show, go back to it, the first show of 2024, and see if any of us got close.
Mike, are rates going to continue to drop? What do you think? I mean, I know you said yes, but it seems like that's what's driving the last 60 days of activity.
Yeah, I think they will. They're not going to drop. In 8 weeks, they're not going to drop 1.5 to 2 points like they did from October to December. Like we're not going to see that quick of a fall again. I could see a trickle down where we're going to hold level here for a while. The Fed meeting in January is going to come out. They're probably going to say we're going to hold or maybe even talk about cutting in the future. That'll drop our rates a little bit more, and then we'll level off a little bit again, and it's going to kind of be a step down, a slow step down. So yeah, I think they'll go lower, but I don't expect 4% interest rates anytime soon.
Yeah, we talked a little bit last week that the dam is starting to break of buyers and sellers who are like, okay, we know we bought or sold during COVID, and we've been waiting forever for some time to move, with families growing larger, downsizing, relocation of jobs. There's more transactions happening, guys, that the dam is slowly starting to break of those low people stuck with those low rates.
Yeah.
That's all I got is yeah. Here we go, guys. We're going live on WCCO. It's 830, News Talk 830. Appreciate you joining us. We got Adam Hartung in studio. Hey, welcome back, everybody, to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for joining us. Hope your weekend is going well. You can always join us via text or phone calls. Love the phone calls as well. We did have a text. Scott, maybe you can answer this one. We have a 2-story, 4-bedroom, 1985 home in a very nice neighborhood. We have a park-like backyard with an in-ground pool, man-made 2 ponds, and a stream and a play yard. Wow, nice backyard. When is the best time to list our home as we're downsizing? So Scott, a lot of the kind of park-like features, backyard, in-ground pool. Thoughts on that type of property?
Great question. I've been talking about this for the last 3 weeks about the groups that can really take advantage of this market. And I won't go into the other 3, but this was one of them. If you know that you are making a move in the next year, 3 years, 5 years, and you know you're going to be downsizing, you know maybe you're moving to Florida, you're moving to Arizona, your kids are graduating from high school, you know that this move is coming. This is the second best sellers market that we have ever had. The first 4 months of 2022 was the best. This is the second. That's going to be consistent. So you know what you have right now. So the best time for you to sell is sometime in 2024. If you are selling and you are not necessarily buying, then frankly, the best time for you to sell would be in the spring market, the end of March, beginning of April, so on. If you, depending on the home price that you're selling, there could be a change to that. And that would be one where I could talk to you on the phone personally about it. But it depends on what price range you're selling at and what price range you're buying in to determine whether that's the best time for you to do both or to do one and sit and wait.
Yeah, again, one feature too. Obviously, they mentioned the pool and the backyard.
Huge factor.
Yeah, and people, what you'll find too, since COVID, pools are really in demand. People really love that. And again, the nice photos. I know what you're thinking. As far as presenting it, you're going to find a very strong demand for your home. And again, we're happy, obviously, to chat more with you specifically about that.
So again, and I don't know if this is what the seller meant when they asked the question, but I'm thinking, with that kind of backyard, is there a right month of the year? I don't know if that's what they meant, but that's what I'm thinking when I hear that question.
That makes sense. A lot of times sellers do put a stake in, hey, my yard looks incredible at this time of year.
Yeah.
So would that be the best time for me to put it on? Well, common sense would say, yes, it does. But in this market where I really look at this market in 3-month gaps, what's going to happen in the first quarter? What's going to happen in the second quarter, and so on. So it really does depend on your price range of whether you would want to wait till spring or whether that's going to cost you. And that's on a house by house basis.
Yeah. So if you're strictly looking at just the sale part of it,
Yeah.
right, that's one thing. But what's your next move?
That's right.
Because timing the sale and putting you in the best spot for your next move is a different story.
That's right. So for example, in 2022, I normally do the majority of my business through the beginning of the year, through about the end of July, and then a few speckles from that point on. In 2022, I did the majority of my business August through the end of December, because I told my clients, especially first-time home buyers or second buyers, to sit tight, because you didn't want to buy when you're spending 30, 40, 100 grand over. You don't want to do that. Yeah, rates jumped a little bit, but values came back. And so, so that made sense to buy at that time. It just depends on your situation.
Yeah, we appreciate you listening to the show. Hope that was helpful and you and your family have a nice start to this new year. It's already, you can believe it, 2024. And again, fellow agents, brokers, mortgage professionals listening, I think everyone's feeling it. There's a little bit more positive in the air when it comes to real estate and mortgage. Before, guys, it's kind of like you go to a dinner party and you say, hey, what do you do for a living? Oh, I'm in real estate. And it's always
They're like, oh my gosh, you need a drink?
It's like a sort of death in the family.
Are you okay?
That is so true.
Grab Scott a chair. Let's have him sit down.
Let's sit down.
Hey, a little fun we were talking about off air, and for those sports fans out there, they do this a lot on sports shows. But since it's a new year and in that vibe, I was thinking, let's do a bold prediction, is what they call it. Something that probably will not happen, but you could see it with these factors that you're going to predict it, and maybe it comes true. So because I've had time to think about it, I'll go first. To give you guys little time. So this is my bold prediction. I'm going to go against Mike. My bold prediction for 2024 is, I believe by the middle of May, we will have rates that will drop into the high 4s to low 5s.
Wow.
With no knowledge whatsoever, like Mike has. This is just the realtor conspiracy theorist in me that says, in a election year, you cannot have rates that are making housing unaffordable. 6% still makes it tough. 5.5%, it's easier, but not great. Upper 4s, everybody's happy. Looks like everything's great rolling into that election year. So my bold prediction, 4.9% rates by May 15th of 2024.
Scott Walmering with a bold prediction. Mike, Mike, are you thinking any bold predictions there, or do you need a little time to think about it there, young man?
It's not real estate related, but my bold prediction is something that I actually think is probably not going to happen is that the Vikings win the Super Bowl.
There you
No,
go.
yes, I know. Yeah, well, you're out there on a limb.
Yeah, that's a bold
That's
prediction.
a bold prediction.
Hey, it's bold. It is bold. Adam, we'll give you a little time to think about it. I know
All
you're
right, I
thinking.
got nothing yet.
Hey, but sure, you do have a big event coming up. I want people to know about this.
We do, and it's actually a forecast event, and it's why I'm probably hesitant to make a prediction. This is our 16th annual Forecasts Past and Present. And the reason we call it Forecast Past and Present is because we start the event by talking about what were the past predictions? What were the predictions for 2023? What did the experts think was going to happen in the market and the economy? And then we talk about what actually happened. And every single year, it's always just amazing how wrong almost everybody is. So we start by talking about what were the predictions in the past, what actually happened. We talk about where we think the market may be going, and we end the event by talking about what are the experts predicting for the future forecast. Sure. After we just got done saying that, hey, look at they're never right. So I used to say that the forecast show that the smartest people in the world can't get it right. I now have come around to thinking that the smartest people in the world just don't make forecasts.
Well, yeah, well, and it's like anything else. It's the smartest people in the world get to talk about it more.
Yes,
but I mean, it's a hard thing to predict. It's like we all sit back and we look at 2007 and we go, what in the world? I mean, we're in this industry. Are you kidding me? When, like I saw a comedian once that said, I knew we were in a problem when I could get along. And so I mean, for us to look back at that and go, my God, you could just walk in and say, give me a loan, and you got a loan. And we didn't think that was going to cause a problem in the real estate market. Yeah. But of course, nobody has that ability. Looking back, it's always easier. And so we'll see.
Yeah, you're welcome again to join us at any point, 612-294-6949. Again, talking to Adam Hartung. Adam, before the break here. So again, for those people, your firm really helps people in all areas of money, whether someone is very wealthy, whether they are just starting out and want more advice on buying their first home, buying investment property, starting to build a little bit of a nest egg. For you help people really all across the spectrum. One of the many reasons we love working with you and your team is because of that.
Yeah, well, thanks, Ryan. I appreciate that. We really do. I mean, one of the things we focus on is being available to really help everyone at kind of every stage of life, and no matter kind of where they are. So that client event that we have coming up, the Forecast Past and Present, it is on January 30th. It is a Tuesday evening. It's at the Crystal Lake Golf Club in Lakeville at 6 p.m. And it is a client event. This is not a sales presentation. I mean, there's all kinds of advisors that, market to bring people in for a dinner seminar, and it's meant to be a sales presentation. 95% of the people there are going to be clients of our firm, some of them for 25 years. But I every year we've extended an invitation to radio listeners. So if you have ever heard us on the radio, or it's the first time, if you want to know what it's really like to be part of our firm and to be a client, I can't think of any better way than to come to this event. You'll get to have dinner. We pay for dinner. And you'll sit with some of our clients.
Well, if you're a client, if you're not a client, you get a salad.
Yeah.
First year, the second year you get a dinner.
We do provide dinner for everybody that comes, Scott. And then, I will give a presentation. We try to make it both educational and fun at the same time. So it's meant to be a fun event. So if you're interested, you can sign up on our website at midwestmoneymanagement.com. There's an events tab and you can register, or you can call the office at 651-204-3000. Again, that's 651-204-3000, and we can get you signed up for the event. We do need RSVPs because of the head count for dinner.
Yeah, again, thanks. Thank you, Adam Hartung, Midwest Money Management. We're at the final break here on WCCO, the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Hope your 2024 is starting out well. We'll be back after the break. Really good info. Mike, what I love about Mike is working all the time. Even as we're here on the show, I got an auto text from Mike and his team that says, good morning. It's going to be a good weekend to help some home buyers get a house. Feel free to reach out to me if I can help with any pre-approvals. I'll be around this weekend to help. One of the many reasons we work with this guy. He's even working when he's not working.
That's right.
It's the
Yes,
techno-
that's the
it's the
technology.
technology.
Yes, technology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty soon,
Yeah.
I'm gonna make myself extinct.
Well, it is interesting because for those old timers in the room, Ryan is starting to get to that old timer stage. When I think back of how we used to do real estate, not that long ago, up
Right.
until 2000, 2004, 2005, we did everything manual. I mean, you literally would you could email your client a package at that point,
Yeah.
but they still had to manually sign it.
Yeah.
You had to go physically pick it up. You had to physically bring it to the other agent. And all of this took so much time. And now we do everything from, what used to take us 10 hours, we literally do in an hour on our phone now.
Yeah.
I mean, to complete the entire transaction. And it was 10 hours.
I got some nice comments. Want to share Don. Don, thanks so much for joining us. Don said, good morning, Ryan and crew. Ashley, thank you. Ashley Hineker, great agent. Good morning, guys. Sean Leaf. Good morning, Sean. Hope you're doing well. He said,
Hey, Sean.
congratulations, Adam.
Yeah. I know,
Happy
Sean.
anniversary. Sometimes we can see your name in our list. Sometimes we can't. It's with the Restream app. So if we see your name, we'll always shout out. But thanks for joining us. You got a lot of clients, Adam. Both of you guys got a ton of clients. Mike, you ever kept track of how many past clients you have?
Yeah. I got a lot.
Of course,
Yeah,
Mike.
he doesn't. You know what he does? He uses a client, then he just forgets.
Yeah, I just
Hopefully they pop up years later and want to do business.
Yep,
Just
just pop
pop
house.
Pop up.
Yeah.
Mike, for those of you personality traits, this young man is very organized. He is very diligent, and he's very consistent. Personality traits.
So what would be your
yeah,
personality?
what would be the
Well,
thing, Mike?
I'm the opposite of Ryan. I don't like giving bad news, so I'll sit there all day long and figure out how I'm going to deliver this news and soften the blow and
yes.
Yep,
make
that
it
is you.
softer and
That's
whatever.
you. Which is weird because people looked at you, you wouldn't think that.
Yeah.
But you are very, very much a softie. Like
Yeah.
that. Me too. You and I have that trait in common.
Yeah, I think it's hard though. Again, and maybe the reason I do that in my head is I think I want to get it off as soon as possible because it's kind of distressing to me. So
Well, that's what I
I'm
mean,
like,
yeah.
we need to address this.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about it right away. And however the chips fall, I'll rip the Band-Aid off. And then however the chips fall versus stewing on it and being like, oh my gosh, what are they going to think? It just it makes it worse.
Most people are stewards though. That's why again it's a really good trait to have.
Yeah.
Because it releases your day. Because if you don't do it till 4:00, it's the only thing you're thinking about all day. So you're doing other things half baked.
I will share a personality trait. My dear mom may be watching, and I know I get this from mom in a very much a positive way, is that I respond to all emails, texts, and phone calls. I just think it shows courtesy.
Yes.
But if I miss a phone call, I want to call them back. So again, it's sometimes I wish I could be maybe a little more like my brother Tim and just relax a little bit.
I'm not wired.
And take a
wired that
week
way.
off. I can't do it.
No, for 25 years we've had one of our guarantees
Yeah.
is if you ever call me, text me,
Yeah.
email me,
Yeah.
or my assistant,
Yeah.
and you don't get a response within 1 hour,
Yeah.
we'll write you a check for $25. And I've never had anybody collect it because it's one of those things. It's just we were brought up in that age where you respond.
Right.
Right.
Here we go. Final segment, guys. Hey, welcome back to the final segment of the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Appreciate you joining us. Got another listing. Jen Tischlitter with the Minnesota Real Estate Team and Remax Advantage Plus. She's got a nice one in St. Paul. This one, Scott, is 1719 Colvin Avenue in St. Paul for $515,000. It is an updated Rambler. It's in the Highland Park neighborhood. Very desirable area. 3 bedrooms on the main level. Option for a 4th bedroom in the lower level with an egress window. Newer furnace, AC, and windows. Check out the pictures online. Very nice looking property. 1719 Colvin Avenue in St. Paul for $515,000. Great property. We're in the final segment here. Mike, we talked a little bit kind of throughout the show about maybe predictions and interest rates.
Bold predictions. What's your bold prediction?
predictions? Anything that's popping out at you, or again, with you are continually in the mortgage trenches with people. Thoughts that you have for people here and moving forward in 2024.
Well, I think if I piggyback my bold prediction off of Scott's bold prediction, if his bold prediction comes true, then my bold prediction would be that the home prices you see today are going to be 15%
Yes,
higher
that was my other one. Exactly the same number.
by like
Yep.
May of this year.
Yep.
Which would be that. I mean, that'd be basically a 30% increase if you take it over yearly. So a 15% increase in 5 to 6 months. I mean, that's what is going to happen.
That's
if
the
yours
number.
comes
That's
true.
the number I had in my head. 10 to 15% by middle summer.
Yeah, again, throughout the week, you know that this phone number that we share on the show, it comes right to our office. So maybe you're a home buyer or a seller, you're thinking about listing your home or getting a market value, or just simply interested in maybe seminars, first-time home buyer, investment property seminars. You can reach out to us at any point. Scott, again, one of the things I was talking to a newer agent yesterday in the industry, and who joined our team, really nice young man. And again, one thing that's a little bit different on how we operate is we are a very low sales pitch, probably to a fault.
No sales.
Yeah, it's
We're really no sales.
yeah, it because at the end of the day, it's as many of the questions have come in, it's you need to buy and sell when it's ready for you. And I think really good agents and brokers will understand that over time, that it's not hey, we need a sale to pop here. That just really isn't the way the business works. And it's, again, we have fun with it, and we've helped a lot of radio listeners over the years. So we've got a top agent on our team all around the Twin Cities. Don't hesitate to reach out.
Yeah, I've said for years and years and years that the best thing you can do if you're going to be buying real estate is to find a real estate agent that you trust, hook up with them, make it a partnership for life, because this comment should never come out of your mouth. I think my real estate agent wants to sell me something. That should never be a comment that comes out of your mouth. The comment from an agent should be like, I don't need to sell them anything. I know that I'm going to sell them a house. They're my client. Therefore, I want to sell them the right house in the right situation. And it is a difference. The blessing of the internet is everybody has information at their fingertips. The downfall to the internet is everybody has information at their fingertips. And a lot of people fly solo on their own to go buy real estate. And it is not a good choice.
Had a lot of comments, questions coming in about the sanatorium. Maybe we should do the show
Let's do it live
live
from the sanatorium.
from the sanatorium.
I like that idea.
Let's pre-tape it at midnight.
Yeah, there we go.
Yes, with candles.
With
I'll
candles.
do it.
with candles.
What's your bold prediction of 2024, Ryan?
My bold prediction of 2024 is that the Packers are going to make the Super Bowl.
Oh my gosh! What's your? You got to have a real estate.
Oh, real
prediction.
estate related.
Real estate or business related.
Yeah, I was just thinking. My bold prediction for 2024 real estate related is that I do have a feeling rates may continue to sneak down as well. I don't know the number, but I don't know. I have a feeling with the election coming up. I see so much online on Twitter or X or everywhere else where they're just talking about, with a bad housing market, it's impossible. For the incumbent to win.
Correct. Adam, bold
Well,
prediction.
I think if rates go as low as you're talking about, Scott, I think we'll be in recession by that time. Then, whether it's official or
That's
not,
bold.
whether we've said
That's
it,
very bold.
I think we will be in recession at that point. And this, I mean, the way we get there is, I still think what's propped up the economy has been all this excess savings from the money that we printed during the COVID timeframes. And I said that money was going to run out by about December, and it has now. Credit card balances are going up. Interest rates are so high on credit cards. I mean, there's people that just don't know how much damage they've done. And I just don't know that the consumer can continue to support the economy like they have.
Hey, thanks for joining us, Scott. Nice job, bud.
Yeah, you too, as always. Thanks, guys, for coming in. Thanks, everybody, for listening and watching.
Yeah, again, Adam Hartung. Mike, you got a last thought?
Yeah. Plug in with, like Scott said, plug with an agent that you trust, because they're going to lead you in the right path. Some of the stuff they say, you're kind of be like, what are you talking about? I gotta waive my inspection or whatever. If they're saying it and you trust them, you got to do it.
Yeah, again, thanks for joining us, the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll be back next weekend on CCO. Take care, everybody. Yeah, that was fun. Fun and quick. Goes by too fast. Bold predictions. Did you give us a bold prediction?
Yeah.
I
Kind of.
piggybacked off of
What
Scott.
did you say? What
I
was
said-
yours?
I said if Scott's bold prediction on interest rates correct, well then then
Housing
housing
prices will
prices
be
are
up
going to be up like
15%.
15% by May.
Marcos, have an awesome day. Good to see you, buddy. Marcos Martinez, awesome agent. Where is better to develop infill land, new builds in Minneapolis and St. Paul, and why? Simia LLC, thanks for joining us there. Where is it better to develop infill land, new builds, Minneapolis and St. Paul? I have some thoughts.
Yeah, why don't you go there?
I think part of it is, again, finding
That's what I was
available,
gonna say, yeah.
inventory. Our team works with a number of different builders and a number of different new construction. Part of it is trying to find opportunities. I think if you can find anything actually in either St. Paul or Minneapolis, it's a bit of a win from a demand standpoint. I know it's super hard finding things right now, guys.
What is an infill?
He's just talking-
Infill land new build. I
He's
don't
just
even know what
talk-
that
he's just
means.
talking about being able to find land that you can build on.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm with Ryan, and I'll take it a little bit harsher. Unless you've
Yeah,
got an
don't be hard.
yes, unless you've got an in, it's relatively impossible to find any kind of size of land in Minneapolis and St. Paul to be able to build on, unless you've been a developer for a long time and you're in the good old boys club.
Hey,
It's just
before
not-
we leave, Adam Hartung on his 25th anniversary, is there any dance or anything you want to recreate for us for all of our watchers?
No, Ryan.
Adam was
that's
doing
just
some
fine.
major
Yeah.
guitar playing. It was good. Adam's like, okay, cut, Ryan. Hey, thanks everybody. We'll be back next week. I hope you have a great weekend. Happy New Year. We'll